What's up? My name is Justin, and this past week I had the thing almost all guitarists I know dread be asked of me. I'm playing at a church that only goes direct in, okay? You can't use an amp, I can't bring an amp, and I don't have an amp simulator. Like, the technology is getting better and better, and I understand the appeal, but like, why does sound guys have so much power now? The sound guys are taking over! Anyway, I was lucky enough to borrow a Strymon Iridium from my friend Jeff, and I truthfully went into it with very low expectations. I played on Kempers a bajillion times, I have never liked it. I love the way it sounds when I hear it in videos, and I've heard other people make it sound great, but whenever I sit down and plug in my pedal board, I never have the time to really play with the Kemper to make it sound right, and it always just sounds so incredibly thin and mushy. Like, it does not take pedals the right way. I played on a Helix once and I really didn't have enough time to even figure out what was going on with it. It was just whatever the person preset me with, and it didn't sound super great. It sounded pretty digital, but I do think the Helix is an incredible pedal. Knowing that background, you could see why my expectations were low. So I plugged into this thing and I truthfully was blown away. I don't have much of an agenda today. I'm just discovering the pedal with you. I'm starting off with my Gretsch White Falcon double cutaway. I'm going to start with the Chime and cab A. So let's just play around with it. We can run the drive maybe a little lighter. Let's get a cool clean. Yeah, that sounds good. And then, so let's get a little more, maybe a little more treble. I think in the middle switch, because there isn't a middle in the top boost, this is like the tone knob. Yeah, it definitely did something. And this going over here goes. Oh yeah. So that's real bright, so we like a little bit. Sounds cool, maybe a little bit of drive. I like that a lot. Maybe just a touch more room. I think what's cool about the room is I'm not approaching it like this is my guitar sound reverb. It's just to make it sound a little more live. I think that's something that's missing on a lot of these simulator amps is they lack that liveness of the room. It's almost sterile because it's so perfect, and this seems to add a little bit of that back. That sounds cool. Let's just start cranking the drive and seeing what we get here. Yeah, it sounds really cool. Let's just whack it all the way out. Love that. Let's run to the Marshall. I'm gonna grab my Les Paul because that just seems right. So we're in the Marshall mode. I'm gonna put the drive down just a touch. And yeah, we'll just see what this sounds like. Maybe the room down a little bit. That's cool. Let's try a different cab. Another cab. That's real dark. That sounded cool. Maybe it's a little dark. What if we give it a little more mid? Yeah. And root. Let's try something modern. Let's like really drive it out. Right away, that's definitely got that cool grindy Marshall tone. Maybe just a touch dark still, but you know, we're just playing. Right away, it definitely has that super cool Marshall texture. I love all the distortions. That's really incredible, and it's kind of making my rock and roll childhood dreams come true. So let's hit the Fender with a Fender guitar and see what we get. All right, we're right off the bat. Definitely has that cool Fender sound. What is the mid? Sounds like it's actual mid. Just put everything at 5 and start from there. Let's try different cabs. This is B. Oh, nice. And here's C. Back to A. That was a little bright. I like. All right, cool. Let's drive it a little bit. That bluesy feel, and I think what's also impressive is it does actually feel like I'm playing on a real amp. I never feel that with the Kemper, Helix, whatever it may be, and this does feel like a real amp, and that's so exciting. It's super simple, which I actually love. Some people might see this as a drawback, but to me, I love that it's set up like an amp. There's a drive, there's a volume, treble, middle, bass. You got the 3 cabs, the 3 amps, an on and off switch, and then a little bit of room reverb. To me, this is pretty ideal. I love the small footprint of this pedal. I love that I can easily tweak this thing. It doesn't feel like I'm flying a NASA aircraft. You know, the day of, I thought there were only 3 cabs and 3 amps. You have round, chime, and punch. Round being some sort of Fender version, chime is like an AC style amp, and punch is a Marshall. I thought it was just 3 cabs, and I had no idea what they were, but the way it actually works is pretty cool. There's 3 cabs per amp. They have an IR loader, so you can get really customizable with it if you want. So when you're on the Fender channel, you have three different cabinets for the Fender specifically. There's A, B, and C, and then you do so again on the Chime. But most impressive, it took my pedals just like the real thing. I didn't have to change very much on my pedal board at all, whereas I feel like with the Kemper and the Helix, I would have to use effects loops and alternate routing. I could literally just plug the end of my pedal board into this, and it sounded just like how it does when I hit my own amp. So I'm gonna hit it with a lot of pedals right out of the gate. And this is my Fulldrive, stacked with the Moonshine, the delay, and the reverb here. Sounds like, I like that. Right off the bat, it does sound pretty good. Something about it in the mids that I don't love. I think I just need maybe a little less bass. So that sounded really good. Maybe just the volume's a little bit. Let's try this. Yeah, that sounds good. That sounds really good. I want to hear it with that lead line again. Now we have a little brighter tone. Let's try this one. think it sounds really cool. I'm curious what this sounds like when it's just really whacked out. Now, I mean, I'm sure this is gonna sound even better the less pedals you throw into it, of course. But right now I'm throwing my whole rig at it and it's pretty good. I feel like just with a little bit of tweak, I can make this sound really, really solid, maybe even indistinguishable from my own amp. So I have a solo push. See if I remember to play this. Pretty slamming. I think the reverbs might be getting just a touch mushed. And that might just be because I'm going mono into this because I don't have one of those dual mono to stereo TRS inputs, and that probably makes a difference. But on a whole, I'm very impressed. It's similar to my amp. And I think like it's just minor tweaks and this thing could be sounding really killer, especially if I threw it on my board as like a permanent thing. So after, you know, a first real exploration of this pedal, I think you can see like it's quick to dial in the tones. There's definitely more fine tuning to be had on my end. For literally just plugging in my whole pedal board rig, I think that's pretty solid. You know, I didn't pre-plan any of this. I didn't know what I was gonna play. Didn't know how this was gonna go, and I think we got some pretty solid sounding tones, which is a huge sell. I know that if I put this and built this into my own rig and set it all up for stereo, we could definitely get some very, very impressive sounds. But yeah, let me know what you think. Do you like the Iridium? Do you like the Helix? Do you like the Kemper? I'm hoping I'll buy one of these soon because I really want to hear this with my rig and give it a proper shootout versus my AC style amp. All right, that's it for today. Be sure to like, comment, subscribe, and I'll see you next time.